Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Rolling Steed. So you might be thinking that you want to start learning to ride. Well, I want to go over a few things that will help. So you might be thinking that you want to start learning to ride. I want to go over a few things that might help you along your journey, stuff that we've kind of found on ours. Hopefully you learn something and you get something to take away from this. But we'll see how we go. So the first segment is going to be type of bike. Now, I know Paul would say think of cost, but don't let that dash your dreams. Dream big and then make it work. So the first bike I want to talk about is your cruisers. They're going to be like your Harley Davidson, your Indians. A lot of different bike manufacturers make bikes, so make sure you shop around and just don't get stuck in the norms of the main ones, obviously. Now, these bikes are going to be the most comfortable to ride. You're going to have a straight back, your arms are going to be up, your legs are going to be out. It's almost like you're sat on a chair. Obviously, if I've edited this right, then there'll be a picture of the riding triangle. If I haven't, I apologise. I'm still working on this editing. Now, a lot of these bikes, they're beautiful to ride, because they're a bit wide, they're a bit lower. They haven't got their handling, and in my opinion, the Tourers do everything that the cruisers are meant to do, but better. Now, this is just my opinion. Obviously, if you like that kind of stuff, I see why you do it. They're beautiful bikes. Just not for me, really, because I like to feel low down rather than back and relaxed. So the next bike that I want to talk about are the Tourers. These are like the BMW GS's. I don't really know many of them because they look too high for me. I'm only 5'9" and the seats are like up here somewhere. So I don't think I would jive with them that well. They usually got the higher pegs, the higher seat, the higher handlebars. So again, you're sat more upright, which is good for your back, especially if you're doing a lot of commuting or long journeys. Obviously, they are designed to be off-road or like safari sort of stuff. 90% of them probably won't see any off-road, but they are good on your back and they give you the best wind and rain protection. They've got a big windscreen and good suspension, so they're really comfortable to ride. You can get saddlebags on them for storage. All around, like I was saying, good bikes. They can do basically everything the cruiser can do, just a little bit better. So the next bike I want to talk about are your naked bikes. Now, you've got two kind of naked bikes. You've got your regular naked bikes, which are kind of like the cruisers, like Eli's and Paul's, which are the SR Custom and the YBR. Great bikes, just naked bikes are windy, very windy. And then you've got your naked sports bike, which is basically the no fairing version of the sports bike. So you've got your CB, which is the version of the CBR, just no fairings, like your MT-07, your SEDs, all them kind of bikes which have the fundamentals of the sports bike, but no fairings basically. So they're lighter, but you're not going to cut through the air as much, reach a higher top speed. They're usually tuned a little bit different for the street, so you're making torque and your power a lot lower in the revs, usually around 4,000 for the torque and about 7,000 for the brake horsepower. As previously mentioned, windy, but your pegs are lower than the sports bikes, your seats are a bit lower than the sports bike, handles are a little bit higher. This results in your back being a little bit straighter, so your longer rides and your daily commute aren't as bad as they are on your sports bike, but you can still get a little bit of back pain if you're riding for hours and hours and hours. So the next bike I want to talk about is personally my favourite, which is the sports bikes. You're gonna have that higher pegs, you're gonna have a higher seating position to kind of just put you into a tuck. You're gonna have lower handlebars as well to bring everything in. And obviously these ones usually have higher brake horsepowers, they cut through the air faster, you reach a higher top speed. obviously everybody knows what a sports bike looks like, so I won't go into kind of what kind of sports bikes there are. Now, sports bikes do generally have a higher insurance rate on them because they crash more often, and the super naked bikes, even though they're almost the same bike, they haven't got the same kind of data to reflect yet. So don't be crashing the naked bikes and running up my insurance. And the sports bikes that are more designed for the road, obviously you're going to be more comfortable on the road with them, because you can get into the power bands quicker, and you're going to be able to send it quicker. But then you can still transfer them to the track. Obviously, are they going to be as good as the track bred bikes? Obviously they're not, but they are going to be better for your day-to-day riding. So going into the next segment, I want to talk a bit about types of gear, kind of gear to choose. Starting off this segment, obviously from the head, are going to be your helmets. You want a good helmet. Don't cheap out on a helmet. You don't want to be living the rest of your life half brain dead because you bought a £60 helmet like this one that offers you not much protection. Looks cool. Everything's fake. They obviously have no protection. I'm taking this out already. Obviously there's no pad in there, that's just plastic. That's going to compress and you're going to get your head. You're going to... Today, Junior! You're going to get your head rattled wearing this if you headbutt the floor. Basically there's no compression padding, it's just a cheap helmet. It's going to pass even though it's got a dot. It's not going to be as good as your more expensive helmets like this one. I think I paid just under £200 for this, so it's not even really an expensive helmet, it's just a shark helmet. Again, let me see if I can take this one out. This one has a lot more padding on the cheek, a lot of compression area here, so that's not plastic. You've got more compression at the back of the head. This is obviously going to offer you a lot more protection than the cheap one is. And then obviously they come with cool little features like this. You want to be super cool, you get a brand new visor. Obviously carry a clear one with you in case you end up riding longer than you think and it gets dark and you need to see. So you get GoPro mounts, you get Bluetooth and various other little things. You get these fluffy little helmet things that go over the top, make you look like a bunny. Not my style, but each to their own. And then going on to your jackets, you want a good jacket to save you from road rash. You want ones with padding in the forearms, in the shoulders. You can get ones with them in the back. I've got a segment here that I can get one some plate armor in the back. But again, you want to spend a fair amount on your protection because it's going to be what's going to save you in a crash. You don't want to be spending the next however long in hospital because you got bad road rash or you got cuts or broke your bones because you didn't have the right gear. The second one is your gloves. I haven't got my gloves from either downstairs, but you want a good pair of gloves. Obviously if you go down, it's going to be the first thing that's going to hit the ground when you go down. So you want ideally ones with a hand skidder, hand plate on them. You want good knuckles. You got your summer gloves, your winter gloves. Just make sure you get a good pair of gloves. And then going into your trousers, you want trousers with good knee padding. So obviously again, if you go down, you're going to go on the knee, the hands, and then probably hit your head off the concrete as well. I need to get skidder plates for these. I just picked these up on the cheap. You got good padding in the knees, good padding in the shin, and it's good durable material. And leather isn't my thing, but like I said, I got them on the cheap. So. And then obviously the next one is obviously your shoes. Now in the UK it is only you legally only have to have a helmet, but I'd advise riding with everything. You don't want to fall off and head be fine, but the rest of you's now got no skin. But saying that, going into a boot, you want like I say, a fairly decent pair of boots, one that's going to offer you some good toe protection, good ankle protection. So if you go down, your ankle gets caught, you don't want to be breaking ankles, so make sure you get one that's got good support, toes and ankle. Now, is all this gear going to guarantee that you're not going to get injured? No. Not crashing is going to guarantee you don't get injured. So always make sure you're riding aware and riding the right gear just in case. And then going into the next segment, it's going to talk about the costs of starting to ride. So you're going to want to think about how much the bike's going to cost you. Obviously look around, shop around, have a look at new ones, have a look at old ones, see which one's going to suit you. You're going to have the bike for long, or you're going to just like me and Paul are going to do, have these 125s for a bit and then jump up to a new one. Obviously keep in mind how obviously repair costs and everything like that off the bike you're going to get. If you're going to go for I mean, Ducatis don't make small bikes, but if you get a Ducati, the repair costs and the service costs are going to be a lot more than if you get a Yamaha. Obviously your licenses are going to cost a lot of money. I think for the DAS it's about £500. These are going to vary on where you're going. Like your CBT and that's going to all vary where you go. You're going to want to have a look at your tax. You're going to have a look at your insurance. Make sure you shop around on the insurance as well, because a lot of ones are going to offer you different prices for different kind of protection. I recommend Fully Comp because it offers you the best protection. If anything happens, you crash, it's going to offer you crash protection. Third party only really covers you for fire and theft, not so much on the crash protection or if something else happens to it. Obviously all this is going to add up. Don't let it destroy your dreams. Obviously get things that you're going to be able to afford, you're going to be able to maintain. Like I say, you don't want to get a nice bike but then realise that the cost of repairing the bike or keeping the bike maintained is more than what you're going to be able to afford to keep it running. The bike community is really cool. No one really cares what you ride as long as you're on two wheels. So going on to the next segment that I like to call the road to riding, we're going to talk about your tests and how old you have to be for certain tests basically. So we're going to start off with the CBT, which you can take at 16, which allows you to ride a 50cc moped. Obviously when you turn 17 then you can get the like the 125s, which I think classes the A1 license, which you can take at 17, which is about 15 brake horsepower roughly. Anything over that you're not eligible to ride it basically, which is going to be like your 125s, not really anything above that. So the next license I want to talk about is the A2 license. You can take this at 19 and it's going to let you ride a 46.6 brake horsepower bike, which is pretty fast for a 19-year-old. If I had one of them at 19, I probably would be crippled. And then the next license is the A license, which you can take at 24 if you haven't previously been riding. So you can ride at 21 if you do it the progressive route, which is go through all the licenses in order, or 24 if you haven't. So we're going to go for the DAS, which is just going to let us basically ride unrestricted. We won't get insurance for the bikes like the litre bikes or the faster bikes, the higher brake horsepower bikes. I think even at 90 brake horsepower it's a lot on the insurance. So I think that's everything that I wanted to speak to you guys about in this video, and hopefully we'll go back and do another video on what to expect in your CBT and what to expect in your theory test and your hazard perception test. Obviously I can't really speak for the A license or anything yet because we haven't got that far in our own journey, but hopefully we'll get that out to you quite quick. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I hope you like and subscribe, and take care. Peace.